All right, so let's look over what's under this topic, okay? Inequality means not equal, right? So we have two kinds of inequality we are going to graph. So since it's graphing, right? So on your homework, okay, you have the graphing sheet in your book, right? If you don't have enough, you can make a photocopy first, or you can print it off the internet, right? Pretty easy. I will also upload a file with a graphing paper, okay, that you can download. So this one, linear, one type is graphing linear. Linear means straight lines, right? So inequality that has straight lines. So you can see all the inequality doesn't have the square inside, right? X variable can be C, right? So no square at all. And then straight lines can also be two-dimensional, right? Linear, so like y equal mx plus b with a slope, right? So that's also linear. So that belongs to the first part. And then we'll be talking about quadratic inequality. So that means the question will have squares inside, right? You can see over here, right? Squares, okay? Yeah. And then we have two dimension as well, okay? If there's a y, right? So only x is one dimension, right? One variable, two variable, okay? Same with linear. Linear has one variable, right? Let me highlight one variable, two variable. Quadratic, one variable and two variable. And then last part, we can combine everything. We can draw both, right? We can have a linear with linear, right? Two inequality. Or you could have one quadratic, one linear, or both of them quadratic, okay? We call that a system, okay? System means more than one, right? So let's start with the linear first. And one variable. This one you should have seen it in earlier year, maybe grade 9 or 10, okay? So you just need to isolate x. But because it's inequality, we need to know when we need to flip the inequality sign, right? Right now, this one is the less than. But sometimes we need to flip it, okay? Does anybody know in what case we need to flip the inequality? When do we need to flip it? Anybody? Remember the rule for that? Colin, do you know?
When you're dividing by a negative number.
Yeah, very good. Okay, and do you know why we need to do that? Why is there such rule?
No.
Okay, does anyone know why we have a rule like that, right? How come we just follow the rule without knowing why? Yoshir, do you know why we need to flip when we divide by a negative?
No.
Not sure? Okay, how about you give me two numbers, random number you pick.
Two different ones?
Yeah, two different ones. Any kind of number, doesn't matter.
2 and 4.
Okay, 2 and 4. Okay, so if I have 2, and let's write it on the top, okay? So y flip inequality sign. Okay, this is a good question, okay? Because you all know the rule, but without knowing why, that becomes something that's a strange rule to do, right? So let's say 2 and 4, right? So we have 2. Let me put a 2 here. Okay, 2 and 4. Now, right now, 2 and 4, 2 is smaller, so less than 4. Okay, so the rule said if we divide both sides by negative, then we need to flip it, okay? So let's say I divide by -2 then, okay? So divide by -2, okay? Both sides. So 2 divided by -2, it becomes -1, right? 2 divided by -2. 4 divided by -2 is -2. So -1 and -2. Eric, which one is bigger?
I think it's negative two.
-2 is bigger.
Yeah.
-2 is bigger than -1.
Sorry, -1.
-1 should be bigger, right? Because the more negative, the smaller the value. It's like you are owning money, right? You own more. You own someone $2 compared to you own someone $1, right? $2 you have less money. So -2 should be less. So that's what you need to do the flipping, right? When you divide by a negative sign, it used to be big, it becomes small, right? It used to be small, become big, okay? So that's why. Pretty easy, okay? But it's better to know why, right? Makes more sense. So it's not just dividing as well, right? Even if you multiply by negative number, work, okay? As long as you multiply or divide by negative, okay? Then you need to flip. So just keep that in mind, right? So for example, this one, right? Our goal is try to isolate x because we only have one variable. So let's do that. Okay, first we'll expand the brackets, okay, multiply in. So -2x minus 6 minus 4. And then 2 goes in. So 2x minus 10 minus plus 3. And to isolate x, let's keep all the x on the left side, okay? Because we usually read from left to right. So we'll move the 2x over, okay? And then that one goes over, okay? That would have 5x minus 2x minus 2x. When you are moving, you don't need to flip, okay? Only when you are divide or multiplying a negative number. And then now the right side will have -10 plus 3. -6 goes to the right, become plus, and then plus. Okay, let's simplify it. So Nathan, can you tell us what's on the left side after simplifying?
X.
Yep, how about the right side?
Hold on.
Yep.
17.
17.
I'm actually no, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Sorry.
Okay. No rush, okay?
It's 3.
3, yes, okay. 3. Okay, if you finish up to here, can you raise your hand? Okay, so this part is pretty easy, right? So just isolating x, and during these steps, there's no flipping at all, right? Because we did not need to divide both sides by any negative number or multiplying. Okay, so that's it. This is our answer. But when we want to graph, okay, when you are showing your answer on the graph for your homework, you need to show where the 3 is. So first you need to set your scale, right? So if it's just integer, right, you can just do each one is, each space is 1, right? If there's a fraction, then you can make it more spaced out, right? You can say every 2 is 1, okay, or every 3 is 1, depending on the fraction. But this one is integer, right? So we just use each space as 1. So make sure you show several numbers around the 3, right? Around the number you want to graph, not just one number, Okay, so that way I can see the scale. And then x is less than, right? So let's start with the 3. Less than 3 means we don't include the 3. If we don't want to include it, we draw an empty circle. Means at 3 is not included. Less than 3, that means could be 2, could be 1, 0, right? So everything pointing to the left side. So that's your answer, okay? So you can show the answer two different ways. If they say graph, right, solve, if it's only solve, then x less than 3. And graph, right, and then you show it on the, show the number line, okay? So I'll let you try question 1, A and B both, okay, by yourself. And also complete the number line too, okay? So you can raise your hand when you finish question 1. If you have any trouble running to, like for question B, if you have any trouble, let me know. Eric, you finished both?
Oh, I forgot. I needed to be. I'll do that right now.
Okay. Okay, I think by now you should have finished A, right? So let's go over A first. All right, so Eric, can you tell us what to do after this, after expand the bracket?
You find C.
5C
Yeah, 5C is greater than equal to 10.
greater than equal to 10.
And
So
then
you
C is,
flipped it?
yeah, you flipped it because when you do it, it's a negative 5C is equal less than equal to negative 10, and you multiply both sides by negative 1.
Oh, okay, okay. So there's another step there, right? So let's add that in. Negative 5C less than equal to negative 10, and then you multiply both sides by negative. So flip. And then?
And then you divide both sides by 5, so C is greater than equal to 2.
Okay, greater or equal to 2. All right, so let's have Aaron, can you help us draw A on the screen? Okay,
You put a 0 on the center.
are you able to draw on the screen using
Oh.
your mouse? Yeah, so that's 0. Okay, it's good. Okay, so this time we have a solid dot, right? We have an equal sign. Very good, Aaron. Yeah. So 0, I'll also fill that in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have a solid dot. Thank you, Aaron. Point to the right, right? Because it's bigger. Bigger or equal to 2. Okay. Question B. Anyone has trouble? If you finish, please raise your hand. Question B. So this one may appear a little bit harder, right? It has fractions. I want to know what you guys did, okay, with the fraction.
Jason,
Yes, Nathan?
for the fractions, if you want to get rid of them, can you just like multiply like a 2 and then get rid of them or no?
Multiply by what? What do you?
Like for the first one, it's like 2 over x, 2 minus x over 2. Can you just multiply 2 and then it cancels out or no?
If you want to multiply by 2, you have to multiply the other side, right? You got to do the same thing on both.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So what do you think we need to do then to get rid of fractions? Yosher, how about you? What did you do first?
Oh, I multiply by 4.
Yes, okay, so it's multiplying both sides by 4 to cancel out all the fractions at the same time, right? If only multiply by 2, only cancel out the left side. It doesn't cancel out the right side. So get kind of using the common denominator, right? So both sides times 4. Right, and then also on the right side. Oops. Okay, so if we do that, then the 4 cancels out on the right side. That's good, right? And then for the left side, 2 will cancel out with the 4 left with the 2. Okay, so you will be left with question like this. Then that looks much easier. Okay, so if you finish, please raise your hand. And Aaron, what's your final answer?
Oh, I did mine's like a different way. I thought we could cross multiply, but
Yeah, cross multiply also works too. It doesn't matter which way as long as it works, right? And the final answer won't change.
oh, then
Okay,
I'm not sure this one's right as well.
it's okay. You tell us what you got. It could be right. You can cross multiply, right? What do you have?
X is less or equal than to 3/4.
3/4. Okay, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Colin, how about you?
I did cross multiply too.
That's okay. That works too. What do you have?
I have x is less or equal to 3/4.
Oh, same thing. Okay. Nathan, are you almost done?
Yeah, I got the same thing.
Same thing. Okay. All right. So let's continue. Right. See if we get the same thing here. So 2 multiply n, we get 4, right? If you did cross multiply it, you'll end up the same, okay? Minus 2x. So you can take a look. If I multiply both sides by the common denominator, right? How it will look like. Now we'll move all the x to the left side, right? The number to the right side. So you get negative 2x minus 2x, 1 minus 4. Negative 4x greater or equal to negative 3. Now to get rid of the negative 4, I need to divide by negative, right? Divide by negative. So when I do that, you need to flip, right? This need to flip. So you still end up with the same. Okay, so answer is correct. X less than or equal to 3/4. Now when you do the graph, right, instead of drawing just 0 and 1, 2, right, this one will be difficult to show 3/4. So you need to set your scale differently, okay, when you are showing answer for your homework. So this is how I suggest you to do your graphing, right? If you see the denominator is 4, then you will make 4 boxes as 1, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this one is 1. Okay, every 4 box is 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Okay, so that way each box is 1/4. Make sense, right? So negative 1 will be here. If you look at the denominator, so we want to have 3/4, right? So 3/4 will be 1, 2, 3, 3/4. So this way you can show very clearly where the number is. And then 3/4, okay? And then the number, how come the 4 disappeared? Okay. And then we have equal, right? Less than or equal, and then we less than, right? So less than will go to the left. Okay, so if you get something with a fraction, then you do it this way. Okay, any questions? Okay, if you finish graphing, can you raise your hand? Let's move on to next page. Eric? Yep, okay, so let's look at 2 variable now. Okay, 2 variable, probably the new thing for you, right? How do we graph inequality for 2 variable? So different from 1 variable you can isolate x, right? But for 2 variable, if you isolate x, you will have y on the other side, right? If you isolate y, you will have x on the other side. So you will never get a number on the other side. You will have 1 variable on the other side. And you see a difference, right? So for 2 variable, you don't need to isolate. So you are just showing the graph. So your graph will be your answer, okay? Different from 1 variable. 1 variable, you have the graphing answer, the number line, and the one in the red box, right? 2 parts. But for 2 variable, you just show the graph, then that's it, okay? So let's take a look at an example here. So the example I have here is 2x plus y greater or equal to 2, okay? We'll start with something easier, right? I'll split this into 2 parts. Greater or equal, I can split it into 2x plus y equal to 2, right? The part that's equal. And then the part that's greater, okay? And then we'll compare, see what's the difference. And then I'm going to just pick random numbers for x, okay? The following is the table of values, right? So I will just ask you to give me 3 random number, okay? Not too big, single digits, okay? So Aaron, can you give us 3 numbers? Could be positive, could be negative.
5,
5, sure. Yeah,
okay, 7 and 4.
okay. You said 5, 7, and 4. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think that will fit. Okay, the 7 and 4, they will fit in the grid. Let's also have some negative. Okay, so let's say I make 7 negative. Okay, so you can compare. All right, so now if those are the x values, now I would like you to into the equation, right? Plug the 5. For example, I plug the 5 into x, right? So I will have 2 times 5 plus y equal to 2. And then solve for y, right? Because we want to find the point. So that will be 10 plus y equal to 2. Move the 10 over, right? It will be negative 8. Oh, okay. Still fits. Okay, not too big. Okay. All right, so please finish the table, okay, and raise your hand, right? Find the y value for the other 2 x values. I think probably -7 might be too big, huh? Too big because the graph is not that big. Okay, maybe let's change. Okay, sorry, let's change -7 to something smaller. Okay, otherwise later we cannot plot it. Let's do -1 then. All right. So finish the table and raise your hand. Okay, Colin, what do you have for -1?
4.
4, yep. Okay, let's write that out. Oh. Can you guys see the screen right now?
Yeah, it's back now.
Okay, okay, because there was a crush. Yeah, okay. Okay, so -4. Sorry, 4. Okay, and then for Brendan, how about when x equal to 4?
-6.
-6. Okay, let's plot the graph. All right, we have 3 points here. 5, -8. So 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -8. -8 is all the way down here. -1 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, -6. Okay, so they should line up in a straight line. Right, so you can grab a ruler and draw the line. Oh, this one too thick. Let me use a different one. Okay. line. Okay. Tool. Okay, change this one. Oops. Sorry about that. Technical problem. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Yeah. Okay, over here. There we go, finally. Okay. So that's our line, right? Okay, so now we have a line there, right? To graph that line, right? Over here we use table of value, but of course we can use something we learned in grade 10. We can also change to the slope intercept form, okay? Change to y equal mx plus b. Does anyone remember what's m, what's b? Eric, do you remember what's the meaning of m and b?
M is slope and P is y-intercept.
Yes, very good. Okay, so this one, let's fill right at in, okay? So this is slope. This one is y-intercept, okay? It will be easier, faster than using the point tables, right? So if I do that, I isolate the y. So y will be negative 2x, right? Move the 2x to the right side, plus 2. So I would prefer to use this way, right? But right now I'm explaining the inequality. That's why I make the table, okay? Later you'll see. So if I double check, right? Double check the points, y-intercept will be 2, so it matches, right? 2. And then slope is negative 2. Slope is negative 2 means you go down 2 and right 1, okay? This is down 2, right 1. Okay, negative, right? The top number, numerator is up and down. If it's negative, it will be down. Denominator is left and right. So if it's negative, it will be going to the left. Okay, so this one is down 2, right 1. So if you look at the points, it's always down 2, right 1, right? Down 2, right 1. So you get the next point, okay? Down 2, right 1. Okay, so it follows that slope. Okay. Okay. Where's the eraser? Okay, never mind. Okay, so let's continue, right? So now we need to see what happens with the greater than, okay? So let's keep the x value the same. 5, negative 1, and 4. So if I plug the 5 and negative 8 in, it will be equal to 2. right? If I put -8, right? 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus -8 will be equal to 2. It's not greater than 2. So I cannot use -8, right? Because -8 will be equal, okay? So what number should I plug in so it will work? It will be greater than, because the question says greater than 2. So what y value will work then? Anybody? If I put -8, right? 5, 2 times 5 plus something has to be greater than 2. What number should I plug in so it'll be greater than 2? Nathan, what do you think?
Can you like plug almost like any positive number in there?
Yeah, positive number like what?
You could plug in like 1.
Yeah, 1 will work, right? So like 10 is already bigger than 2, right? So basically any number plug in that's positive, that will work, right? So I can plug 1. So there's more than one answer then, right? I could also use 2 if I want, right? Or if I want, I can also plug in 0, right? So is there a lowest number that I can plug in? So it's just bigger than 2, just barely bigger than 2. What will be the lowest number you can think of?
Is 0?
0. Can I plug in -1? Would it still be bigger than 2?
Yeah.
Okay, can I go even lower? What will be the lowest? I want to find the lowest.
-7.
-7. Let's try. If I plug in -7, right? 10 plus -7 is 3, right? Yeah, so 3 is bigger than 2. Okay? If I want, I can go like -7.1. Okay, so anything bigger than or equal to -8, because from the top one, we know -8 was the equal, right? It's like the right hitting on the line, okay? Like a boundary. So if I plot these points, okay, 5, 0, let's look at the graph. 5, 0 will be this point, 5, 0. 5, 1 will be here. Let me use a different color. Oh, okay. 0, 5, 1, 5, 2, right? Anything higher will also work. 5, -7 will be here, right? And then anything bigger. So it's everything above the line. Make sense? Okay, so let's try another one, okay? Now if the x is -1, so it will be 2 times -1 plus something, okay? And then we want it to be bigger than 2. So Brennan, what number will work this time?
Any positive number, like
Positive number?
anything greater than 3.
Greater than 3, so like 4?
Yeah.
4 will work, but 4 will be equal to 2 though, right? Remember?
Oh yeah, never mind. Anything greater than 5.
So like 6?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 2 times -1 is -2. -2 plus 6, right, will be 4, okay? So 6, 7, right? So you just look at the table above, right? If the table has a 4, then anything bigger than 4, even 5 will work, right? Because 4 will make it equal to 2. So 5 will make it bigger than 2. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8, right, and so on. So if I look at the graph now, right, go to the graphing, and -1 has to be 5, so it'll be there, right, because 4 will be on the line. 6, 7, 8, right, and so on. So everything above, okay? Now this time we are smarter, okay? So we know it has to be bigger than -6. So I can start with what? What will be the lowest number this time? Colin? For this part.
Five or
-5.
-5.
Yeah, okay? Because the number that's on the line is -6. So I have to be bigger than -6. So -5, -4, -3, and so on. Okay, so we look at this one. When x equal to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, will be -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, right? So you can see the pattern. It's always on one side of the line. So that's a shading, an area. Okay, so when there's an inequality, okay, the point is when you see inequality is a lot of answer. There's a lot of answer. That's why you cannot write out the answer. You have to shade it. Okay, you have to use drawing to represent so many answers. So if you keep on trying other x value, it will be everything above the line. Okay. If it's equal, then it's only the blue line. If it's only the greater than, right, only inequality, then it's an area. Right? So that's the, if we split it. What if the question has only inequality and there's no equal, right? Like question A, like 2A, there's no equal sign. When that happens, then your blue line, instead of drawing a solid blue line, then you need to use dashed lines, okay, broken lines, to show that there's an invisible wall, okay, invisible boundary. Okay, so let's write down the steps, okay, how to do this kind of question. We don't want to do table, because this time, this is the first question. That's why I go deeper, right, in explaining why we do the shading. But when we are actually doing the question, there's a faster way, okay? You just need to do 2 steps. Step 1, okay, is to draw the equal, okay? Draw the equal graph, right? Doesn't matter if the question has equal sign or not. You pretend it's equal first. Draw the equal one. And when you are drawing the equal graph, you use the y equal mx plus b. Okay, so let's see. Let's just keep it that way. Okay, y equal mx plus b. You can change it. Okay, when you see the question. Once you get the equal line, right, the blue line. Step 2, you need to figure out whether it's on the above or below, right? Because once you have the line, it divides the whole graph into 2 parts, right? Either the part that's under or above. So all you need to do is just test 1 point, because if 1 point works, then everything else on the same side will work. Okay, so this we'll call it the test point. Test a point. Of course, the point you want to test, you don't want to choose a point that's on the line. Okay, you need to pick a point on one side. So let's say I pick 0, 0. Okay, so suppose I want to test 0, 0. And to do the test, I just plug the point into the original question on the left side, right? So I plug the 0 into x, plug the 0 into the y, and I calculate that, see if it greater or equal to 2. Okay, so I calculate the left side. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 0, right? And 0 plus 0 is 0, So 0 is not greater than 2, right? Over here it says 0 is greater or equal to 2. So this one is false. Let's write that down, false. Not true, right? 0 is not greater or equal to 2. So if 0, 0 is false, let's look at the graph. 0, 0 is over here at the center, right? This one is the false. That means everything on the lower part is false. Okay, everything on the side you have the false point is false. That means you have to shade the other side. Does that make sense? Right? If one side is false, then the other side must be true. Okay? You want to shade the true side. True means it works, right? It means it's your solution. Okay? So after you test a point, you shade the true side. Okay? If the point works, then you shade the side that has the point. Okay? If the point is true. Okay? Can you raise your hand if you understand what I mean by shading the true side? Okay, so it doesn't matter what point you pick as long as it's not on the line. Okay? If it's true, you shade the same side as the point. If it's false, you shade the other side. Okay, Eric and Nathan, do you have any questions?
Oh, I'm just writing it down.
Okay, Nathan? Yeah, okay. So let's have a break. After the break, we'll try the question, okay? And then go over these two steps, okay? So I'll see you guys at 11:15, okay? If you have questions, you can stay afterwards.